And today I wanted to show you how you can create interactive exercises and automatically graded tests with BookWidgets, and especially that last one, which is the most common use of BookWidgets. You can use BookWidgets in infinite different ways, and that's why I'm going to show you just a little part of it, creating automatically graded tests and how to give students feedback. So you just go to the bookwidgets.com website and you sign up to get started. What we're going to do now is to create a new widget. Now I want to create an automatically graded quiz. So I click on the quiz widget. When I click on the quiz, I come in a new editor or template, which tells me to add questions or to add a name to the widget. So the first thing I'm going to do in this quiz is to give my quiz a name. So I'm going to make a quiz or a test, let's say, about the European cities. So now I want to add questions to my quiz, so I click on the button Add Questions, and a screen will pop up with a lot of different question types, 26 different question types to be exact. The advantage of these question types is that there are a lot of text question types, but also question types where you can include images, so it makes the quiz more visual. So I just want to choose my first question type, and that's going to be my favorite, the annotate picture question. So I click on it and another template comes up. So here I can just follow the different steps and insert my question. So my first question is going to be, what's the capital city of the indicated country? And I want my students to indicate the pop-up on a background picture. So I just choose a background picture. In this case, it's going to be a blank map of Europe, and it's saved on my computer. So now I just have to add an input field on the background picture. I choose a field name and the correct answer name, so both are basically the same. The correct answer name is necessary for the computer to know what the correct answer is, and so it can automatically grade your test. I want to choose the position of this field on the map, so I click on the map to choose position. So I click on it, and then I can start moving my cursor around until it's on the right spot. One field would be a little bit too easy, so I'm just putting in two other fields. Paris would be one, and also Rome. So this question is done. I can go back to my first question, my first tab, and add another question. This time I'm going to choose for an order question in which students have to order pictures in the right way. This picture is called picture ordering question, of course. So I click on it, and of course we come back in another template. Just type in your question again. Here students have to order from most inhabitants to least inhabitants, and I have to add the images they have to order. These would be images from countries. I have to add the images in the correct order, so the computer will know what the right answer is, again for that automatically grading option. Then I'm choosing my last question, and my last question will be a picture match question. So I scroll down and choose that one. So I want my students to match text with a picture. In this case, I want them to match the city with a picture of a monument in that city. So I'm just going to add the name of the city, so in this case it's Paris, and I'm going to choose a picture of the Arc de Triomphe. And I go on and on until I have the matching pairs, Amsterdam and City of a Bridge, and London and the Big Ben. So that was it. that was it actually. I go back to my questions and I have all my questions of the quiz. Now it's important to see how this quiz looks like before you send it to your students, so you can click on preview and take a look how it looks like for your students. You can even add the answer yourselves and try it out yourself. In case you don't like the design of the quiz, you can change it by clicking on design in the upper right corner. You can change colors and you can change background by choosing a file yourself. You can go for a light background like this, or you can go for a dark background like this. So now you can go back because there are a lot of other options I would like to show you. So go to the tab Title and Reporting and make sure your students can submit their answers to you. Otherwise it wouldn't be a test, or you wouldn't be able to see their answers and give feedback. There's also an exam mode where you can enable a time, so you can set a time which will tick away, so students have to answer their questions, the questions before that. Now you can go to the General tab where there are even more options. The first options are the correction options. Here the default is that the quiz shows students the correct answers when the quiz is done. If you're really giving a test on points, you probably should tick that off. You can also submit or show answers after a password. Here students will have to type in the correct password the teacher gave them to see the correct answers of the quiz. Other options are scoring options, where you can show the points associated with each question on the quiz itself. When you go back, there are, of course, again, other options. You can allow students to share the widget, you can allow students to download the widgets, you can save and restore answers, you can use a startup password, you can enable answer keys, you can do a spell check, or you can question, you can randomly order the questions. So when students sit next to each other, every student will have a different question order, so they cannot look at each other's screens. So when you've set the right options, you would like to share the widget with your students, just click on Get Shareable Link and a pop-up of the link will appear. In this case, this account is connected to Google Classroom, so I can send these widgets directly to Google Classroom, or I can choose to show other sharing options and a link will appear here. You can also show your students a QR code or send a link to via mail to your students or other teachers. So that's actually it. I copy the link and now I'm going to show you what happens when a student makes the quiz. So he opens it via the link or via a QR code and he can start filling out the answers. Let me make a mistake right here, so we'll see how that goes. So let's do this real quick. And then the last one. Let me make another mistake. And I'm done. So here the student submits the answer. He chooses a student name and a student email. I'm just going to submit an email. I'm just going to choose an email and then click on Send. To take a look at my students' grades, I go to Grades and Reporting in the left menu and I click on Student Work. Here I can see all the widgets students have submitted, all the tests or other widgets, and you can see the name or the title of the widget. So I click on the widget European Cities and I come in the student work. So you can see the average score on each question So the connect cities with their monuments is in average a bad scoring question, so I would have to remediate, give extra exercises to my students on this one. Of course, this is just an outcome based on one student. When you have a lot of students, you will have a clearer overview. Here I can just click on by Bianca, her name, and I can open her work, and I can see what she answered, and I can give grades again, and I can give feedback as well. So in this first one, I actually think Rome is right, only the spelling is not that well, so I'm going to give her a point for that, and I can still change that after the computer automatically graded it. I can give some feedback, like mind your spelling, and I can just go on like that. You can give feedback on each question, or you can give feedback in general, like good work, well done, and so on. So every student can get different feedback, which is actually really great. Now I can return the student work. I'm just going to choose my email here so I can show you how a student will see the returned work, and then you can click on send. You can also grade student work by question. So here you can see just one name, but all the names of the students will appear there with all their answers on that one question. So now the student will receive an email with the message the teacher typed in, and the email will also include a PDF like this one here, so the student can see all the teacher feedback and their answers.